What is the new game mode that we have been hearing about on the forums? Do you want a sneak preview? The Distance, the new game mode that will be introduced in 2.7. What is the Distance? Distance is a series of missions that increase in difficulty. In these missions, you will find a variety of mission objectives and even some boss missions. Boss missions are when there is a powerful special enemy you must defeat using your skills and knowledge of the game. Here is the summary of the Distance. The Distance is a measure of missions back to back, kind of like story missions. There is a start and an end. Complete mission objectives, and you may encounter some boss missions in this new game mode. Use your smarts and skills to defeat each stage so that you can continue to the more difficult ones as you progress. How does the Distance work? During the mission, if your survivor falls or gets defeated or basically dies, your other survivors that are healthy can continue the mission. You will have to keep going without the fallen survivor, just the way it is in Outposts. So even though your survivor falls one by one, you can still succeed as long as you have one survivor that completes the mission at the end. Just keep going until you complete it. But don't worry, you can continue to the next mission using your other survivors that are on your survivor slots. So if you have 2 fallen survivors in one of the missions, before you go to the next one, you can choose your other 2 new survivors. So most likely the best line of strategy would be to upgrade your survivors and make sure they are all strong enough to carry you through the chain of missions. You may want to use your weak survivors first and then start gradually bringing in the stronger pink survivors when the mission gets increasingly difficult. Summary of the survivor rules. If your survivor falls or dies, you continue without them and finish that stage. If all of your 3 survivors fail, you can start that current mission over, but you must choose your new survivors to replace them. Use your entire survivor roster to continue the series of missions. The bigger the roster, the more chances you have to complete it. Some hints to progress. Upgrade all your survivors and get them ready for the Distance. The more survivors you have, the more you can play and continue. Upgrade your best gear and prepare your survivors to take on this extremely difficult challenge. Start from using your weak survivors and then gradually use your strong pinkies as the mission increases in difficulty. Do we get to heal? Do we have hospital time? Damage dealt to your survivors while playing these missions are not healed in the hospital tent as normal. The damage will carry on to the next mission. For example, if all 3 of your survivors get heavily bruised when you complete one of the missions, the damage will remain the same and get carried over to the next mission. That means all your 3 survivors will still be heavily bruised at the start of the next mission. Please note, the damage you inflict during these missions will not affect the other game modes, such as scavenge missions, challenges, and outposts. They are a completely separate entity, and you can play your other game modes while participating in the Distance. This is a healing summary. There is no hospital time like we have with outpost and challenge missions. Damage dealt to your survivors will presume to the next mission. If your survivor is damaged, their health pool carries over to the next stage. This is a completely separate game mode from challenges and outposts. They do not share the damage dealt to your survivors during the Distance. You can play guild challenges, story missions, outposts, anything you want at the same time you play the Distance. They are a separate entity. How about the rewards? Are the rewards any good? The Distance is extremely difficult and it will require you to use your skill set to defeat the course. The rewards will increase in line with the difficulty. So, rewards will get more and more generous the further your survivors are able to make it through the Distance course. Rewards recap. Rewards will increase in line with the mission's difficulty. The harder the level, the better the rewards. Rewards will get more generous as you go higher in the mission difficulty, so try to reach that ultimate goal so that you can reap the benefits. This is a fiendishly difficult game mode. Only the best of the best will be able to complete the distance. Remember the ominous graphics we showed a few days ago? Now we can reveal what that hint was all about. Here is a sneak preview of the new badge system. Introducing the new Craftsman building, the building where all your badges come true. I'll be discussing how you can craft a badge and how this new system will work for your survivors. These two images represent the Craftsman building and the new scavenger mode for farming badge components. Please note, all the images in this video are just samples from beta. They may or may not change. First up, how to craft badges. This is the first tab on your Craftsman UI. As you can see from this image, you will see 5 different slots. The first slot is called a badge fragment. The next 4 slots are called badge components. From scavenging and rewards, you may receive these badge components, which will be used to craft your badges. As you can see in this example, the badge fragment can range from uncommon to legendary rarity. For now, we will equip the legendary fragment to show as an example. Next, you will see the components for the next 4 slots. As you do the new scavenge mission, you'll be collecting a number of these components that also range from uncommon to legendary rarity. These components are composed of metal, edibles, chemicals, and cloth. As you fill in these components, you will see the rarity of the types of badges you may craft. If you insert all legendary components, you will get a chance to create a badge that is between epic and legendary rarity. In this example, I used all different types of rarity components, and it shows as rarity being between uncommon and legendary. So the higher rarity components you use, the chances of a higher rarity badge will be created. Once you are ready to create a badge, you will see that it will cost a small amount of supplies to start crafting your badge. This amount may be subject to change, but it should be a small amount that is based on your council level. Next, hit the create button to craft your new badge and let the magic begin. Once you hit create, you will receive a random badge with a randomly chosen buff characteristic. In this example, I created a health badge of epic rarity. There will be many different types of badges that will be explained more very soon. There are several standalone badges that you may craft. It can be an increase in health. You may craft one with an increase in damage. Or it could be a badge with an increase in critical damage. Another option is you may create a badge with an increase in critical chance. There will be other ones that you will see in 2.7. Let's talk about the little green text disclaimer on the bottom of these badges. In this example, you will get an extra 2% critical chance if you are on a mission with our hero, Daryl. There will be many different types of these extra buff conditions on most of the badges we create. Let's summarize the ingredients for a badge. You must have a craftsman building to start creating badges. This will be a new building in 2.7. You must have a badge fragment that will range from uncommon to legendary rarity. You must have 4 other components in the slots that will also range from uncommon to legendary rarity. These components are either metal, edibles, chemicals, or cloth. You will need a small amount of supplies based on your council level to start crafting a badge. Here are the rules for crafting badges. Using higher rarity components and fragments will yield an increased chance of getting a higher rarity badge. With high enough total component rarity, the minimum rarity of the resulting badge will increase. When you create a badge, you will be rewarded with a random buff effect. The buff bonus is a condition that may include using a specific hero, class, or having a certain trait. I'll briefly show you what the Components tab is in the Craftsman building. Quite simply, the Components tab displays all the collected components you may have required as of right now. It is just an overall view of what you have so far in case you need a nice list. Now let's talk about badges. When you click on the Badge tab, you will notice a filter by Set UI on the left side. As I show you each set, you will notice the badges that I have created are categorized by sets. These sets will play an important role when you are equipping your survivors. The sets range from A to E, and each badge will fall into one of these set categories. Now, in set A, you will notice that 3 of them do not have any conditions. The conditions are in a green text below the buff. These are standalone badges with no condition. You will notice these 3 badges with a condition. The very first badge will give you an extra 5% critical damage when you have an assault in your team. The next 2 badges require you to have a hero on your team in order to activate the extra conditional buff. You will need to choose wisely on which survivors will benefit from this extra buff. These are only conditional buffs. If you will still get the 20% critical damage, but the extra buff will get added if you fulfill the condition. In this example, we have 2 conditions that require a certain trait in order for this buff to activate. If you want this extra conditional buff, make sure your survivor has these traits in order to benefit from the bonus effect. Here is the badge summary. Badges will be filtered by sets. Get familiar with these sets and it will be explained later why it is important. Most of these badges you create will have conditions for bonus effects. The condition may be the equipped survivor needing a specified trait, or it may require you to have a certain hero or survivor class on your team. Now, a walkthrough on how to equip your survivors with badges. First, choose a survivor from your roster and go into his profile. Once you enter his profile, he or she will have a badge tab. At start, the badge slots will be empty, so you will need to click on each one to insert a badge into these slots. Each badge can only be equipped into a badge slot with a matching shape. Each badge will have a specific shape, so only the ones that match the shape in those slots will fit. In this example, I have equipped 3 badges. Notice they are not glowing yellow. Let's look at Set A under the Badge tab in the Craftsman building. Remember I told you to remember these badges in these sets? Now let's say I insert all of the badges that are in Set A into these badge slots on my survivor. Do you see how they are glowing yellow now? When you equip 4 badges in the same set on a single survivor, it will activate a set bonus, which means they will benefit from an extra increased effect of all such matching badges on that survivor. Now, if you go back to your survivor profile, you will notice these circles on the left side of their faces. The colors show the set colors. For example, Abraham has 3 white dots, which means he has 3 badges from the same set. Here is the badge equipping summary. There are 6 different badge shapes. You will see the different badge shapes in the Badge tab on your survivor. The badge you equip on a survivor must match the shape on the badge slot. If they don't match, you will not see it in the list as an available badge to equip. If you equip 4 badges of the same set, you will activate a set bonus, which will give you an extra increase effect on all your badges on that set. Your survivor profile will display the badges and badge set on your survivor. This will make it easy for you to equip the ones that do not have any badges yet and to see which ones do not have a complete set. Introducing round passes. What are round passes? This will be a quick preview of how round passes will reduce the low-level grinding in 2.7. In 2.7, your challenge UI will look a little different. You will notice 2 counters on the map. One will keep track of how many rounds you have completed, and the other will keep track of your round passes. For every 5 rounds you complete, you will receive 1 round pass. This round pass will allow you to skip a round next challenge. So for example, if your starting level is 15, the next challenge you will start at 16 because you earned 1 round pass. You will also receive double rewards from challenges and you will gain double stars. So for this example, at level 16, you'll receive 36 stars altogether for finishing the map and 32 stars for advancing to the next level. If your round pass bonus is in effect while you collect your round pass, then even your round pass will get doubled. An example will be shown next. So let's say your starting level is 15, and in the current week you have completed 25 rounds. You should be receiving 5 round passes for next challenge. So next challenge starts. You will start at round 20 instead of 15. So from round 20 to 21.2, this is when your bonus from the round passes will be in effect. During these rounds, you'll receive double rewards and double stars. So if you normally receive 600 trading goods, you should be getting 1200 instead. And each mission will give you double stars. So instead of 3 stars for each mission, you get 6. So in total, for a perfect full map, you get 36 stars instead of 18. And for advancing to the next level from, let's say, level 20, you get 40 stars instead of 20. Since your round pass is still in effect at round 21.2, when you complete 5 rounds, you will normally receive 1 round pass. But since the round pass effect from last week is still in effect, you will get 2 round passes instead of 1. Summary of how to get round passes. You must complete 5 missions to gain 1 round pass. If you complete 25 missions, you will get 5 round passes. If you complete 27 missions, you will still get only 5 round passes. These are the benefits of round passes. 1 round pass will skip 1 round next challenge. So if you have 5 round passes, you will skip the first 5 rounds next challenge. If there is a round with 3 tiers, each tier is considered a round. Round pass will give you double rewards and double stars starting on the starting round until your round passes are used up. So for example, let's say your starting level is 15. If you have 5 round passes from last challenge, you will get double rewards and double stars from round 20 to 21 tier 2. If your double pass is still effective when you are completing your 5th round, you will receive 2 round passes instead of just 1. This will help make up the round passes you might have missed if you started at an early round. Now for the rules of using round passes. You can't save them or use them whenever you want. The round passes will automatically calculate your starting level next challenge. Your double rewards and stars will take effect automatically as well. So if you have 10 round passes, the first 10 rounds you start next challenge will get these double benefits. If you have 10 round passes and you skip a challenge the following week, you will lose all your round passes the next time you start a challenge. Let's just put it this way. Whatever round passes you collected, it gets carried over to the next challenge. So if you have 0 passes, it will reset to 0 next time. I hope you enjoyed watching all the updates for 2.7, and I hope this helped you understand what's to come. I know it's overwhelming, but we will survive it together.